Hello and welcome to In the Crease. I'm your host, Karl Moeglein, here with post-game coverage after Game 5, of the Stanley Cup Finals. Chicago Blackhawks beating the Boston Bruins by a score of 3-1 in that game in Chicago, taking a commanding 3-2 game lead as the series will head back to Boston for Game 6. The Chicago Blackhawks will have a chance to raise the cup for the second time in 4 years and trying to do it on opposing ice in Boston. Alright, now looking back at Game 5. Alright, so Chicago in this game played a very good game, taking a 1-0 lead early with the first period goal. Late in the first period, but still an early lead. Patrick Kane scoring, and that was his 8th goal of these playoffs from Oduya and Taves on the assist. So big thing for them. And Patrick Kane on this goal. What happened was it was an interesting shot from Oduya. Oduya threw it in, and it bounced off a couple Bruins defenders, and it ended up just kind of going right to Kane. Tough goal for Tuukka Rask. I really don't take any blame for him on this one. I think that's a goal. It happens. It's a first period. All right, going into the second period, this is when Chicago kind of put the hammer down, putting in another goal, taking a 2-0 lead. And again, it was Patrick Kane scoring, having a really good game today. And the assist coming from Brian Bickle and Jonathan Taves once again. Another assist for him. Of course, this is Patrick Kane's 9th goal, as the last one was his 8th. And this goal was an interesting goal, but it was all about rebound control in this game. It was not in this game, on this play. Patrick Kane took a rebound off of Tuukka Rask and just put it straight up, top shelf, knocked the water bottle out. Off Tuukka Rask, and I think Tuukka Rask, it just kind of bounced off his pad, and he couldn't quite find it. So I think right now, Tuukka Rask, the biggest issue in this game was that rebound control. It happened a couple times where there was chances they had off rebounds, and Tuukka Rask really needs to work on keeping those close. Interesting note in this game, also, Michael Handzus was awarded a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, diving, basically embellishment, and that is a kind of an embarrassing penalty to take. So, interesting there. All right, and then going into the third period, pretty fast, Zdeno Chara tied it up. Cut the lead in half with an absolute bullet from the left side, right above the hash marks. He took the pass from David Krejci and beat Corey Crawford glove side. This is becoming a trend for Corey Crawford, getting beat glove side. Last game, it just happened again and again. This game, the only goal he allowed on that glove hand, and that is something I look to be his biggest weakness, is that glove side, or for him, it would be his left side. I'm assuming, seeing that almost all goaltenders do catch with their left hand. Then Chicago, the 3-1 final score was just an empty netter by Dave Bolland, assist by Michael Froelich. Nothing more. It was a 1-goal game. You can count it as a 1-goal game. And biggest thing from this game I saw was, if you look at the face-offs, Chicago won 33 of 57 face-offs. Good percentage, roughly 60% or so on just like rough calculations. And that's a big stat. And also takeaways. They took away 21 pucks compared to Boston's 9. Taking away pucks, taking away opportunities. And then, of course, that hometown crowd, their attendance. This is, on the box score, it's listed as 22,274 in the United Center. That's 113% full. That's just insane. Standing room only, people barely being able to see and coming and cheering for this team as they are now on the cusp of a Stanley Cup championship that is incredible for the city. And this is familiar territory for both both the Bruins and the Hawks. The Blackhawks back in 2010 when they won the Cup, won Game 5, then won Game 6, so nothing new for them. And the Bruins lost Game 5 and then won Game 6 and then Game 7 out in Vancouver. And, of course, after that, those riots in Vancouver kind of marring that victory for them. But two teams who know what they're doing in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Conference Finals was the last 4 Stanley Cup champions. It wasn't going to be a new champion this year. These are experienced players, and both these teams have numerous players who've won a Stanley Cup before. And we'll see what happens in Game 6 in Boston. And that's going to be, of course, on Monday, June 24th. And that game is also at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That is 5 o'clock on the Pacific Coast. Looking forward to that game. Big note from this last game going into Game 6. Patrice Bergeron, before the third period, he was out of the game somewhere in the second period. And first, CBC had a report saying that he had left in an ambulance. And then the Boston Bruins Twitter account sent out a tweet saying that he was officially, basically been taking an ambulance to go to the hospital for observance. So we'll see if he is back and ready to play the next game in 2 days. And back in Boston, this is not good for the Bruins. It's going to be hard to take a series like this with that. All right, also back in last game, in Game 5, shots-wise, Blackhawks put on 32. So, but the Bruins only put on 25 shots. So, Corey Crawford didn't have a very busy day. Tuukka Rask, as I said, she probably should only allowed in one of those. I didn't like the other. But, I'm not an NHL goaltender, so shouldn't be harping on it too much. It wasn't a great game for Tuukka Rask. He did make good saves, but he also, let in that one goal. And as I said in my last show, one mistake from a goaltender can cost a team a game, and I believe today that one mistake might have cost them. And for this game, the 3 stars, really I think you can only put up 1 star in this game. And that's Patrick Kane. I feel like Patrick Kane with the 2 goals. A lot of players played an okay game. Taves had 2 assists. I'm happy for him. It's good for him. Oduya had a big hand in that first goal for Patrick Kane. But Patrick Kane had an outstanding game. Corey Crawford didn't have an outstanding game in his shutout. He had a good game. He did as good as he needed to be. He didn't have a shutout, though. He let in the 1. And a lot of players did good enough for Chicago. Patrick Kane was outstanding in this game. I believe the best player on the ice and putting himself into a good spot going into these last games. Of course, these are the biggest games that Conn Smythe Trophy voters look at, which is huge. And, of course, he's coming off that right wing. Big thing. So, yeah. Going off, and, of course, in that face-off circle, big people to look at. Jonathan Toews, when he does take face-offs, had a good game. He does. He took face-offs well today, taking 9 of the 12 things he won. That was a good percentage for him. 11 for 17 from Michael Handzus. It's good enough. He is a face-off expert. He used to play for the San Jose Sharks, and they used to take him off the bench just to take face-offs. He is that good, and he's known for that around the league. So it was a good day for them, and they had a few players who did struggle a little bit more, but they all over together. Good game for them. But after this game, biggest thing for me is those takeaways. Chicago had 21 to the Bruins 9 giveaways. The Bruins only gave away 9. But, getting it taken away that much, they got to work on puck protection. They got to work on the rebound control for Tuukka Rask, and I think Claude Julien will recognize these things, and I look to them in practice tomorrow, working on these things hard, going back to their home ice, and who wants to see the other team host the cup on their home ice? I'd say that's one of the worst feelings anybody can have, and I doubt it's one they're going to want. And I do look to, and best of luck to Patrice Bergeron, hoping he can get on ice. I'm sure the Blackhawks would rather play the full strength team than a team taken out. Of course, Patrice Bergeron is the heart and soul of this team and a leading candidate for the Conn Smythe Trophy. It looks like it's going to be hard for Boston to come back from this after a loss like this, and we'll see. Chicago has been playing good hockey recently, but as we've been seeing before with the Boston Bruins, of course, in the Leafs series, coming back in that miraculous third period, and going back to 2010, winning that series after being down 3-2, they know this territory. They will not have crazy amounts of issue. I think they can pull it off. Alright, quickly go through all my social networking stuff. I like to do this every show, just remember. So, just to get the word out about my show and to tell people, get more listeners. It's what I love, talking to random people about sports. It's what I'm passionate about. So, at Karl_PM, that's my personal Twitter account. Just post random stuff, lots of hockey blurbs, things like that. In the Crease with Karl Moeglein, that is on Facebook, and it'll give you alerts whenever I'm going to do a show. Like to post on there about an hour before every show, or half an hour or so, just to give you a heads up. Now the National Sports set of info. National Sports is the network, basically, for all of this, and it's really, In the Crease would not be created without it. It's the brainchild of Robert Dieters, our president, and without the whole network, I wouldn't be here, so thanks to them, and you can follow them at National Sports 1, that's on Twitter, suddenimpact.14.wix.com/National Sports, that is the website, and Facebook.com/Online Sports Radio, that's where you can find all your stuff on National Sports, and do like Spreaker.com on Facebook as well. Alright, now, looking forward to the next game, 3 keys to the game. My 3 keys are, how do the takeaways go? I can't stress this enough. If the Bruins let that many takeaways happen, they will not win this next game. Alright, key number 2 is Patrice Bergeron back. If Patrice Bergeron is back, he's a huge difference maker. I see a much closer game. And 3, how many shots does Boston get? I think Boston only got 25 shots this game. That's not enough on a goalie. Corey Crawford he let in one of those goals, and it was because you made him react quickly to a shot on his glove hand. And throughout this series, he has shown that glove hand is not strong whatsoever. If I was Boston, I would be telling my players to just attack that glove side, because it was just extremely weak throughout the series. And, getting shots on net, getting shots on that glove side, that is the key for them. And, fun stat to note, Boston outhit the Blackhawks 53-22, but it was still a game for the Chicago, kind of showing how hits kind of don't matter in this series so far. Even though Boston was extremely physical in this game, they could not beat the Blackhawks, not getting the pucks to go in the goal, and we'll see. So my pick going in to the next game, I hold steady. The Bruins are going to take this series. They're going to take it in 7. They're not going to lose on home ice. They're not going to lose in front of TD Garden, and if Patrice Bergeron is back, great. If he's not, it's going to be a hard fight. But I think these Bruins are resilient enough. They will remember what happened in 2011 against Vancouver and how they fought back. And this is a core of the same team that won that championship. So I see this team once again taking this series. I've said it all week long, even as my series guess expands and expands, I still think the Bruins are going to win this series. Alright, and so thank you for listening. I will be back with pregame and postgame coverage Monday. Then I will be going off. We'll see if I get in the show for Game 7. I really hope to, but I will be leaving off on a vacation, and I may not be able to get back, so hoping to get back on Game 7, and I will be posting on the Facebook page whether or not I'm there, so good reason to follow it. Alright, this has been In the Crease with Karl Moeglein. Thank you for listening. Till Monday.